Thank the member for Gellibrand. The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for Robertson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I really want to commend this motion on deregulation because it speaks directly to residents and to businesses in my electorate of Robertson. As the member for Swan noted, the previous Labor government introduced more than 21,000 additional regulations in just 5.5 years. Not that, of course, the member for Gellibrand may admit this or admitted this in his contribution, but these regulations left Australia down the bottom of two global indicators. The 2013 World Economic Global Competitive Index ranked us as 128th out of 148 countries for burden of government regulation. And we were second last in a 2012 ranking of productivity growth by the Economist Intelligence Unit. In the last year alone of the former Labor government, Commonwealth regulation was costing us approximately $65 billion per year, a massive 4.2% of GDP. That's why this government has a strong agenda to cut red tape by holding 2 repeal days every year. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm pleased to say that after the first 3 repeal days, this government has delivered more than $2.4 billion worth of red tape reductions. In fact, on the most recent repeal day, we repealed more than 10,300 legislative instruments and introduced legislation to repeal over 2,700 acts of parliament. And for people living in my electorate, Madam Deputy Speaker, red tape reduction means we can help ease the burden on Central Coast businesses, community organisations, families and individuals. It means less time filling out forms, less time waiting in queues and less time searching for government information. We've also been really open about how we've done this, so people on the Central Coast can be confident that there's a precise, comprehensive and transparent program to reverse the growing costs of red tape on the economy. For individuals, there are some simple changes that make sense, like making identity checks easier for retailers and consumers when purchasing new prepaid mobile phones. This has got an annual compliance saving of $6.2 million. On flights, restrictions have been lifted on using personal electronic devices so travellers can use them during all phases of flight. It's simple, but it also has an annual compliance saving of $17.7 million. Students who receive government payments are now able to change their details online at a time that best suits them, without being required to wait for hours contacting a call centre or attending a service centre. That's also an annual compliance saving of $2.7 million. And there are real benefits for industries on the Central Coast so that they can get on with what they do best without being weighed down by unnecessary paperwork. And one such area, Madam Deputy Speaker, is aged care, an important sector in my electorate. Our changes will result in millions of dollars in compliance savings for aged care providers. For example, we've increased the proposed thresholds above which aged care accommodation prices must be approved by the Aged Care Pricing Commissioner. We've also proposed a simplified accommodation pricing process which removes the requirement for aged care providers to follow a strict process in setting prices. This also ensures consumers receive clear information on accommodation prices. We've repealed provisions in the Aged Care Act 1997 that required approved providers to notify the Department of Social Services of any changes in key personnel in their employment within 28 days of the change occurring. And we've also streamlined the forms for the aged care approvals round process, reducing the overall size of the application forms by 50%. This recently led to more than 70 new aged care places being offered in Point Clare in my electorate, with a particular focus, every single one of these places, on supporting people with dementia. Madam Deputy Speaker, for each resident in these aged care homes, there's a great need for people to care for them, and slashing red tape helps make their job easier. For example, Andrew from Terrigal was telling me recently of his experience working in an aged care facility on the coast. He spoke about his desire to build a positive experience based around real friendships and relations with the people who live there. He said his role wasn't just task-focused, but was also about supporting our local residents who make aged care facilities their home. The Coalition Government recognises that with an ageing population, we need to ensure aged care providers are able to get on doing what they do best without being weighed down by red tape. And that means that people like Andrew can focus on doing their job well, and local residents in aged care facilities in Robertson get the best possible quality of care. Time doesn't permit, of course, but I could mention similar case studies and examples in small business, the health sector, tourism, finance, building and construction and many, many other industries. But by tackling this burden, we are putting into motion a stronger, more prosperous economy, and I commend the motion to the House.